course, we do have, as the breaking news continues to come into us now, the mugshot of this suspect. There he is, 56-year-old Cesar Sayoc, a resident of Florida who had lived for some time in the state of New York as well. That is the mugshot of the suspect that has just been released by authorities. FBI counterterrorism official Terry Turchie joins us now with some more perspective on this, coming to us from Boise, Idaho. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you were involved in the Unabomber investigation. Is that correct? Years and years ago. So what have you taken away, given your experience of this, or from this particular investigation?
Well, thanks, Connell. I'm very proud of all the people that have been working night and day since all of this began, and this is the result. And so as I look at it and think about it, it looks to me like it's going to end up, and we'll find out in about an hour or whenever the DOJ tells us, but it looks to me like what usually happens has happened here, that kind of a combination of science and shoe leather come together. And they've been collecting a lot of information, doing everything as they should and everything right the last few days. And then you get that big break. It could be in the form of science. It could be in the form of a DNA report from the FBI lab. It could be a person calling, following the news and knowing something, or this guy might have said something to them. Or it could be the Postal Inspection Service. You know, we don't talk much about them, and they don't have a big glaring presence in the news, but let me tell you, they are a tremendously powerful and competent agency when it comes to tracking down all kinds of things about the mail and where these kinds of bombs can be placed in the mail stream. One of the things I will never forget about the Unabomber Task Force is the relationships we have with the Postal Inspection Service, the ATF, and you see that all the skill levels of all these different agencies, when you combine them and you put them together, it's pretty hard to stay out there long and stay unidentified when you're a guy who's committed a crime.
It's really interesting. Give me an example of how that would work, because, you know, you have the president using this, for example, used the phrase needle in a haystack. However, you know, many of the experts, you know, you and others that we've had on this week have told us this guy left behind this, I keep using or keep hearing the phrase, a treasure trove in terms of evidence. So how are the dots connected, especially with the use of the Postal Inspection Service that you talked about? Where do they start? How do they connect those dots in a general sense, obviously not knowing all the details of how they worked in this particular case?
Sure. The Postal Service can tell a great deal about a package just from looking at the front of it. They can tell you probably where it might have originated. They will help you trace back to where it definitely was you know, placed in the mail stream. They can look at different, and I won't get into the specifics, but they can look at different things on the envelope. And by the time you're all done, they can give you not only where it was mailed, but just about to the hour where it was placed in the mail stream. What you do then is you go back and you find witnesses. You find people who handle the package. And it's gotten better since Unabomber. During Unabomber, of course, we didn't have cameras everywhere. In fact, we didn't even have a camera system invented that you could put outside where it would be protected from the weather. But now there are cameras everywhere. So when you're an investigator and you're looking back and you're trying to recreate all of these things, particularly on package bombs, once you find the origin, you stand in the middle of the street and look around you, and you'll probably find 5 cameras. People cannot forever cover their tracks, and they cannot, even though we're talking about these things, people who commit these crimes just cannot cover everything conceivably when they try to hide what they're doing or conceal what they're doing.
Great work by those law enforcement officials involved in this, and you're right about the cameras. I'm sure we'll hear more about that, or I suspect we will, in this Department of Justice news conference later on this afternoon. Terry, thank you. Terry Turchie, thank you for coming on.
You're welcome, Colin.